Content warning, do not consume food or drink whilst watching this video, as you are very likely to choke on it or spit it across the room when you see the stupidity on display. Well, I did give Andrew an extra 24 hours, and he's done nothing. I was hoping he'd make a shitty video defending himself, although I have to admit I don't really care about his side of the story. It was just going to serve as an opportunity to make this video a bit funnier. Right, so, the gist of it. I'm going to go in broad strokes, because, well, there's a lot of back and forth here, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. I basically made a Roblox account with the specific intent of reporting Andrew and his little cabal of bum chums, but after doing that and making my video about his shit map that he didn't even make, I realised that I had a Roblox account and had no idea what to do with it. So I thought, fuck it, might as well use it to troll Andy. So I approached him as Drongo Stomper, this beautiful nightmare of a man who is deformed as fuck because he has both adult and child limbs attached to his bloated torso. I approached Andrew using this freak of nature as my avatar and posed as the kind of moron who would find his Lizzie Winkle memorial desecration video funny, and that I found his channel because I was looking for griefing videos online, you know, like anyone who'd basically given up the idea of ever being loved in their life. Surprise, surprise, he believed instantly, and I didn't even have to lie about who I was. This isn't the only time I've done this to Andrew either, but this time I did put the effort in to type like I was scrambling to my feet after being kicked in the head by a horse, basically to try and hide my identity a bit further. Anyway, we get to know each other, and I made myself eager to join one of his disgusting raids, where he'd storm into Nimble's or Lizzie Winkle's memorial server and act like a massive cock. If I could get in there with him, I was hoping to shout out his real name and get him completely fucked by everyone in the server and laugh my ass off at the following shit show. Sadly, this wasn't to be, as Andrew, the great leader who wants to be the next Nimbles, can't coordinate a single willing acolyte. So I don't know how the fuck he's gonna manage a whole group of people, the daft shit. Regardless, I managed to land myself a job as Andrew's campaign manager for his stupid bid to become the new Nimbles. I asked Andrew for direction, and he basically just said, I'll do a thing and you get the results. He's the worst fucking boss I've ever personally worked for. However, despite the lack of pay or real instruction, I decided to do what he asked of me by making him a more known figure on the Roblox platform. Basically by going on various social media sites and sharing his username, his real name, and pictures of his avatar and real face to educate people on what to expect out of the next Nimbles. Currently standing, around 67 people have reacted, and around 80 people have commented on just one group post alone. Not quite Yoshi's animal wellness masterstroke, but at least every active user on this rather busy group of around 20,000 is now aware of the kind of shitbag you are. And I'm also sure that they'll remember your name given the tidal waves of evidence that I've thrown at them over the past week. Anyway, by this point I made a video laughing at Andrew's pitiful excuse of a level and was going to include a bit of Andrew Velasco, the predator of Roblox, as a small montage at the end. However, it quickly spiraled into something bigger because, well, I realised at that point that I had so much shit that had happened since the final curtain saved on my hard drive. I figured it was high time that I just dished it all out. After all, people should be aware of what's hunting them and should be able to prepare and protect themselves from it. Hell, since that video, I have even more information that I'm planning on showing in this video. But I kinda wanna, you know, make this coherent, so I'm going to put that later in the video, because, well, it ties into my endgame a little. Anyway, I now had 2 videos based on Andrew, and honestly, being his campaign manager provided no fruit as of yet. I decided to form a quick plan. Step 1 was upload Andrew Velasco, Predator of Roblox. Step 2 was, well, I approached Andrew in a bit of a flap, informing him that something bad had happened. and I delighted in giving him the YouTube link that shattered his limp dick hopes of becoming the next Nimbles. Of course, Andrew is too thick to use copy and paste, so I had to spend about 20 minutes guiding him on how to find a fucking YouTube video that's about him. Jesus Christ. Right, so Andrew retaliated in the most meaningful way he could by disliking the video. I just want to take an aside to say, Andrew, that one dislike, that means the world to me. Like, it encourages me to keep going, so thank you. Anyhow, he went back to his campaign manager and basically realised that his campaign was about as doomed to fail as the Zachary Taylor re-election campaign would have been. So I asked Andrew what to do, and he said that we needed to make a response video. Now this is where I got a bit of a golden nugget. It's like my big haul from all of this, which admittedly isn't anything incriminating, but it is pretty funny. It might seem like it's not that much, but I will explain a little more in what it means in the larger scale as far as I'm concerned. I asked Andrew how I, his loyal acolyte and campaign manager, could help, and he said he didn't know.
Why I should be the next nameplate here? Why? It's because I'm a good leader.
Suggested that I did a video that stated that he is a good person, which we all know how I feel about that statement.
Because I'm a good person. That's the sixth one.
Fuck out here, retard.
I asked him if I should tell the truth, and Andrew said, definitely not, make lies to make me look good. I mean, that's gonna take some fucking earth-shattering deception to make that case. I'd have an easier time convincing starved dogs that I'm not food. I proceeded to ask him what kind of lies he wanted me to tell, and he said that he wanted me to tell people that he's a good person and that he helps people. He considers those lies, which I find somewhat fascinating. Like, he's not even a good person inside his own head. I'll give him some credit, because when his loyal follower asked him if I should make any lies about any of his opposition, he was smart enough to dodge that question and not give me any lies to use against myself or Hatman or Gage or any of those people. But he did tell me to make sure that everyone knew that he's a good influence. For fuck's sake. What a dipshit. Anyway, Andrew went for his annual bath and I left to make a video protesting his innocence. So I did half of that, but it wasn't a video that I made to protest his innocence. I figured that right now was a great opportunity to just rip off the mask like it was a band-aid and shout, "It's me, Andrew! It was me all along, Andrew!" in a parody of Vince McMahon from WWF. Unfortunately, I don't have this part of the conversation because I was really busy at the time trying to set everything up and keep in the conversation. I was very involved with the situation, and I figured I'd get the screenshots after. I wasn't aware that if Andrew blocked me on his end, the entire chat log would just go poof. But I'm sure that what I'm about to say is very believable, and I also have some record that it happened based on chats that I had with other people on Discord and Steam. I basically kept a little diary of it in Hatman's executive suite, and had a very long conversation with one of my friends. So, yeah, if these are good enough for you, fine. If not, then I don't care. Don't believe me. Like, whatever, I don't care. Alright, Andrew, there's something that I need to get off my chest. Before we begin, I just need to tell you... What is it? It was me, Andrew! It was me all along, Andrew! I don't get it.
God damn it!
So then it takes 30 fucking minutes just to get this dumb shit to understand a situation that he was currently in.
Okay. Now, do you consider yourself to be intelligent compared to others? Like, do you feel like that you hold more intelligence than the others who do criticize you?
I feel intelligent.
You do feel intelligent.
Yeah.
30 minutes of him failing to use copy and paste, and also failing to understand that he was being betrayed by his own campaign manager. Something that Harry Potter and Ratchet and Clank viewers can fathom in seconds took Andrew Velasco 30 fucking minutes to grasp. I'm never gonna get over that, Andrew. You are the dumbest motherfucker I've ever met. I literally ripped my own face off and exposed myself, and he still didn't fucking fathom that he was being betrayed. After 30 fucking minutes, Andrew finally said, "It's you!" No fucking shit, Andrew, you dumb ignoramus. Anyway, I was playing it cool, and I was just like, hello, and he blocked me. Well, he said bye, and ran away, and blocked me. It took me half an hour to get to that fucking point, God's sake. It's funny that Andrew identifies as a clout chaser, but the clout that he actually gets, he doesn't seem very willing to engage in. It's almost like he's afraid of it. Almost like he's afraid of me. So, one thing that I love about this whole thing is that Andrew told me his whole plan and what he wanted his video to be about. However, he also made it clear that he was lying. I feel like this is an important caveat for anyone who sees him speak from now on. Andrew has openly admitted to lying in his videos, which is something that can be thrown in his face every time he tries to defend himself from now on. And every time an apologist crawls out of the woodwork, I can just be like, well, take a look at this shit. He's lying. Eat shit. However, the real goldmine of all this was procured by a few of my minions who have happened to get Andrew to inform us his next plan. I call them my minions out of a term of endearance, by the way, and mostly because I don't want to expose who they are, because they might be able to get a bit more done. Anyway, these beautiful little cherubs happened to get Andrew to inform us that his next plan was to steal Nimble's identity and pretend that the real Nimbles faked his death. Yeah, I'm sure that plan won't backfire, especially now that I've just revealed it in a video. It was a complete accident, honest. I was trying to help, swear. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that the mask would probably crack and break up the second that people noticed that it was kind of odd that the resurrected Nimbles were sending sexually inappropriate messages to minors. Oh yeah, he's still doing that shit, by the way. In fact, he's doubling down on that shit. But don't worry, guys. If we ignore him, he'll stop and go away. Actually, can I just take an aside to say fuck you? Like, personally, fuck you to people who tried to discourage me with that shit. People who were constantly telling me that Andrew's done nothing wrong, or that I've got things wrong, or that he's just an attention seeker, or he's just a boy, or blah blah blah. It's people like you that are the reason that Andrew exists. Get fucked. He's also been amping up the racism due to the Black Lives Matter movement.
Ooga booga, go back to Africa.
He's also been telling minors to kill themselves, as well as trying to get them to touch themselves for him. YouTube, Roblox, anyone. What the fuck is this fucking nonce still doing on your platforms? No more dodging the issue. I want to fucking know now. Why the fuck is YouTube protecting fucking pedophiles? Are you guys into that shit? You might as well come forward. Look at this man's tweets. Look at this man's YouTube channel. Look at this man's behavior on Roblox and fucking tell me that ignoring him is working. Fucking tell me that doing nothing is going to stop any of this from happening. Stop being an apologist for the cunt and get your fingers out, for fuck's sake. Right, so back to reality. Andrew has been relatively quiet this week, but is planning on making some sort of a comeback on either Roblox or YouTube. I think he's full of shit when he says he'll make a video on me because he's scared of me. In fact, he's so pathetically scared of me that he keeps threatening me with legal action, as seen in this screenshot that I got from his Facebook just before he deleted it. He's not sure if he's threatening to sue me or he is just going to sue me for damages, but one of the two could very well happen if I don't sit back and let him get on with his shit. Well, Andrew, I'm not fucking backing down, and suing me is basically you committing suicide. You can't even sue me because you're too young, and you'll need a parent to do it on your behalf, unless you wait 2 years. But if you wait 2 years, I'm pretty sure this will be seen as a historic case, even if there was a case. Now, if you think that getting your parents to represent you is a good idea, if you think weaponizing them to try and destroy me financially to shut me up is an appropriate approach, then let me fucking set the record straight. Your family can't even afford to keep what's left of your dad's teeth in one piece. So how the fuck are you gonna sue someone? How are you people of questionable citizenship going to be able to get me extradited? And how the fuck are you going to keep me from bleeding you to death with legal fees? Which is a more than viable tactic if it came to it, given that I'm worth more than your entire household. But furthermore, how are you going to survive when I countersue you for everything that you have? I will send you and anyone else who sticks up for you into bankruptcy and beyond. If that's what it takes to stop your bullshit and your evil. If Andrew is happy to use someone as a human shield, and they're stupid enough to smile as he does it, then quite fucking frankly, I don't care what happens to those people. If you try that shit on me, it's game over for you. And game over for your parents and your sister and basically anyone else in your family. Fuck off. I know that it's basically impossible, but the intent disgusts me. It actually does. I believe it was Mysterious Mr. Enter who asked the question, who's worse, the guy who sets your house on fire or the guy who throws matches at your house expecting it to burst into flames? The intent is still there. He wants to intimidate me into silence through threats of legal action. Quite frankly, I'm not intimidating in the slightest, Andrew, but I'm just warning you that if you think that this is a road to go down, if you find a way to make any of this possible, I don't believe he will, but I'm just saying, if he does, it'll be the end of you. I have enough to get your case dismissed because your whole case depends on me spreading misinformation. Misinformation that came from you about your age. It's your fucking fault that people thought you were in your 20s. Nobody else. So fuck off. It's not seen as spreading misinformation if the source of the misinformation is the person it's being spread about. If I tell a lie and other people believe it and spread it, that's my fault for telling the fucking lie, and the same goes for you. If I'm being dragged out to a courthouse in another country, I'm going home victorious. I'm not breaking even, and I'm sure as fuck not going to show mercy for people like you. As far as fucking up the lives of you and your sick family goes, it would not be a blip on my fucking conscience, so fuck off. Andrew Velasco, in my opinion, based on what I've seen, is a narcissist to the point that he believes that he's better than God. He thinks that people are his playthings, especially animals, children, and anyone else too weak to do anything. His behaviour makes a lot more sense when you realise that he wants to be treated as an infallible, unquestionable deity. He wants people to love him in spite of his abuse. Rules should only exist to serve him and punish transgressions inflicted by others. He should not have to follow the rules, because the rules should protect him. People are meant to serve him and amuse him without question. He wants to be given everything in life for free, despite doing nothing to deserve it. He wants to be powerful, but sympathise with at the same time. He wants to cause as much misery and human suffering as he can in what's left of his sad little life. Honestly, my theory is that the evil inside him is slowly killing him. Though many argue that it's muscular dystrophy, I think it more than possibly could be both, or he could just be misdiagnosed and it's literally evil killing him. You know, like in Crusader Kings when you take on too much satanic power and you turn into a twisted wreck. Yeah, that's basically what I think Andrew is. I'm baffled that none of his dumb shit friends, I'm not going to name them because they love attention and I'm not giving it to them. I gave Leto attention, I'm not giving it to you pricks. Go away and think about that one. But none of them have figured out yet that he's not one for this world. In fact, if you're lucky, he'll be around for another decade at most. Which makes me wonder how none of you have figured out that he's fucking your lives up by tagging you along in this shit. He's dragging you to hell with him by having you associated with his actions. Him not getting a job for the rest of his life won't affect him, given how short it'll be. But compared to you dumb fucks, it's gonna haunt you for the next 90 years. How have you not thought of that yet? I think it's high time, based on the fact that he's admitted that he lies to get people to sympathise with him and gets what he wants. I think it's high time that we stop giving Andrew the benefit of the fucking doubt ever. I think it's high time that everyone just goes on the fucking offensive with this prick. People have tried ignoring him, it doesn't work. The only thing that seems to work is exposing him, because like a cockroach, the second that lights cast on him, he runs away. He's terrified of people knowing what he is. That's why he hasn't addressed this video, or any video I've made about him. The only thing he's managed to come up with is just calling me a pussy, because he's terrified of the idea that if he addresses me, people are going to find out what I'm saying about him. That's why he stopped addressing Hatman once Hatman got serious about him. And everyone else. I legitimately think it's high time for Andrew to be deplatformed. For the safety of children and animals everywhere, and anybody with any form of humanity in them, Andrew does not belong on any social media platform. He belongs on places like Gab, and BitChute, and whatever else. But he doesn't belong here. Oh, I kind of threw my voice out in this. Right. Basically, Andrew's a cunt, and I'm hoping this will be the last thing I have to make on him. Don't think, Andrew, if you're watching, which I won't be surprised if you are, don't think that me making a last video, or at least hoping this will be my last video, is me no longer watching. I am. I'm always there. I'm like a fucking spectre, constantly looking over your shoulder. And the next time you fuck up, I'll save it to my little folder. Well, it's not a little folder. You know, Andrew, I have to ask you a serious question if you are watching. I made a joke in my Lady Demangos video that you were basically just trying to get yourself, like, off the hook by creating so much evidence that anyone who was investigating you would drown in 1 terabyte hard drives full of evidence on you. That was a joke at the time, but is that actually what you're doing? Seriously, let me know. I'm going to tell you, mate, it might be a bit of a bad plan, because if that does happen and the police investigate, they are just going to find me buried under a mountain of evidence on you, so you might want to rethink the plan. Right, as far as this Andrew shit goes, Andrew, stop it. Drop it, right? Stop being a cunt. Fuck off. Save me a job, yeah? Don't try playing lawyer. If you want to know how badly that'll go, just watch Romine v Stanton related videos. this case isn't quite as good as that, because you're not as smart as James Romine, but you'll see how far it can go and how ruined you'll be at the end of it. So, please, for the love of fuck, get an education and fuck off. Right? As for everyone else, this basically is going to conclude Andrew Week. I'm going to upload something before this, like a little fun video, because I feel like I'm due one. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, this unofficial Andrew Week is basically going to end with this. I hope people are enjoying this. Seem to be, but I don't want to bore anyone by repeatedly bringing Andrew up. So I am sorry if that's the case. I know that a lot of people subbed for the curiosity's sake stuff, but tragically for me, it's always been my way to just look evil in the eye and spit. I'll be watching, Andy.
Was you're not curious about pushing.